Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. I see we have about a minute before we get started. So I wanted to thank everyone for coming and joining us. This is our second listening and learning session. Again, we'll probably give it about another 2 minutes for those folks who are logging in. I see we have some local city individuals here with us, from the deputy mayor, as well as some of our community partners. So I want to thank you all for joining us this afternoon, along with some of our district staff on here. So we'll give it another 2 minutes or so. Like we're filling up. As long as there's more than just me on here, I think this is a success. So, you know, if you're having a conversation with yourself, that's fine, as long as you don't necessarily give yourself the counter answer. So I'm going to get started. I want to introduce myself for some folks that are new here. This is our second listening and learning session that I'm hosting on behalf of the Asbury Park School District. My name is Dr. RaShawn Adams. I am the acting superintendent. I've been in this capacity now since July 1st, and have been working steadily to kind of move us forward to get this district open. Hey, Ms. Cortez. Seeing a bunch of familiar faces. And so last time I did this, I kind of gave a brief overview of my experience, a little bit about my background, where I'm from. And since we have a couple of new faces or new names on this conversation, I'm going to kind of recap that as fast as I can. And then kind of dive into some of the information about the district, where we're going, and try to open up the opportunity for some dialogue in terms of questions. Ms. Shanta Jackson, who will kind of facilitate that. So if you have questions, you can definitely drop them into the chat, and then that way we can kind of move forward in a sort of organized but authentic way. You know, I want this to kind of be very organic, so that way you all get an opportunity to ask some of the questions that you may have, wonderings, and then we can go from there. And so let me, backtrack, as I said, give you a brief overview about myself. My name is Dr. Adams. I've been in the district now going on 7 years. A little bit about me: I was born and raised in Jersey City, went to public high school there, then went to college at what was then Trenton State College. And then I was a elementary ed history major there, then went back there for my master's degree in ed leadership. And then my formal schooling ended with me earning my doctorate from Keene University in 2015. Started my teaching career in East Orange School District, where I taught everything from kindergarten, 5th grade, 4th grade, mathematics, ELA, and then began my administrative career in Irvington, where I was a high school assistant principal, then moved to Newark, where I was a middle school vice principal, interim principal at Roberto Clemente. Then my first principal job was in Trenton Public Schools, where I was the principal at Grant Elementary, or as we used to call it, Ulysses S. Grant. Following that, I ran a charter school where I was the chief academic officer for the Queen City Academy Charter School in Plainfield, New Jersey, which is still operating and doing well. From there, I went back to Newark as a central office administrator again in the region office, and then to Franklin, and then found my way here in Asbury Park. So where I was a principal and then director of planning, research, and assessment here. And then last year, the HR manager. So that's a little bit about myself and my trajectory. I've been in education going on 24 years, just completed my 24th year. And so this is a passion for me. How I came into education, 1992, Dr. Kawanza Kunjufu did a presentation at the Trenton State College, and I was moved by his insistence on the need for more Black male educators in the elementary area. I was a finance major and transitioned from finance to elementary education history. So that's a little bit about myself and how I've come to be in this particular space and place. So a couple of things. Want to give you a brief overview about the district, and I have some notes here. We're moving into a situation where we're coming back full time in September. As you know, our district convocation for our staff will be on September 7th. And September 8th will be another day for the staff to work with their building administrators. And then the 9th and the 10th, that is Thursday and Friday, will be the first 2 days of school, which will be half days for our students and staff, where the PM will be a professional development opportunity for our staff. On September 17th, which is that Monday, will be our first full day of school for our students and staff. As you know, the current executive order and what we've been supporting is when our students and staff return, we will be requiring all persons upon entering and being in our school premises to have and wear masks. We will be requiring that. Only reason why I don't have a mask on is because right now I'm in the conference room by myself, but I have my mask. So we have, and I would like to thank the Monmouth County Health Department. Last week, we did a vaccination clinic here at our Bradley Elementary School, where we were able to offer vaccinations to the Asbury Park community for anyone that was interested in getting vaccinated. Again, with the current strand changing and the current dynamic in our county and in our community, I would like to encourage all of those who have not and are considering to get vaccinated. However, we are not moving, nor will we, to a vaccination mandate. That is not something that is on the table for us as a district. However, we will be mandating and requiring that everyone wears a mask, whether you are vaccinated or not, whether you are an anti-masker or not, you will be required to wear a mask. That will not be optional. And so I want to thank the Monmouth County Health Department who put on the vaccination clinic at our Bradley Elementary School last week. We will not be having and offering a virtual option. We will be in person full-time when we return to school. That will be September 9th and 10th. We will be in person, and September the 13th, which is that following Monday, will be our first full day of in-person learning. We will not have a virtual option as a district. So a couple of things I want to kind of touch on. Right now, today was our last day of summer school. So we are in full prep mode for cleaning our district, getting our buildings together. We just celebrated our last 10 graduates of the class of 21 from the Asbury Park High School. So I want to congratulate those last 10 students that just graduated about noon today. They have persevered through an educational environment unlike any of us have in history. So to those students that persevered and graduated today, the class of 21, on behalf of all of the staff and students, and your fellow alumni, but the staff at the high school, Ms. Baumgartner and her support staff, I want to thank them and congratulate you. As you know, Asbury Park has a tremendous amount of offerings for our students. And just to kind of give you a brief overview, and then I will kind of get to some of the questions that we may have. We have and will be offering a gifted and talented program starting in grades 3 through 12 this year, with our AE classes beginning in 3rd grade through 6th grade. We have our Dream Scholar program, which is the precursor to our Dream Academy, which is grades 7 and 8. And then we have our Dream Academy program, which is a dual college enrollment program with Brookdale, where our students earn an associate's degree before actually graduating from Asbury Park High School. So we also have the College Promise program, which is another college opportunity program for our students to go to Brookdale for free upon graduating if they are enrolled in this program. We have a full day pre-K and kindergarten. Our early childhood offerings are unmatched in this area. And we do a great job with not only our curriculum, but also making sure that we provide the stability and the long-term in terms of our aftercare and wraparound services for our community that is needed. With our partnership with the TLAA, where we offer after-school offerings and activities from 2:45 to 5:45. And that's Monday through Friday when we have school. So those are a couple of our programs. We just finished wrapping up our summer school. In terms of our building preparation and readiness, we will be utilizing our ESSA funds. I'm sure everyone has heard about ESSA. Those are funds that we're utilizing to make sure that we're doing building repairs, we're updating HVAC systems in various buildings throughout. We're replacing ceiling tiles and other things, repairing roofs, partnering with getting solar panels on our buildings to be more cost effective. And that's where we're going. And so our Dream Academy starts in 9th grade. Our Dream Scholars are grades 7 and 8. Thank you, Ms. Jackson, for that. And so at this particular point, I really have kind of given you an overview of our programs. We're going to be expending about $4.7 million on all of our facilities over the course of this summer into the school year in terms of our ESSA funds that we have moving forward. And so for our staff that are on here, you will be able to have access to the building beginning Monday, August the 30th, because that way our custodial engineers will have the opportunity to clean their respective locations, make the necessary repairs, and get everything ready for you to come in and at your leisure during the week of the 30th to get your classes together Each building administrator sent out communication to their respective staff, informing them of just that tidbit of information. And so at this point, I will see if there are any questions. Ms. Jackson, I would ask if you could help in terms of just navigating the questions, and then we can go from there. So that way we can more or less do this in some semblance of order. All right. So Ms. Jackson.
At this time, there are no questions in the chat. So if anyone does have questions, feel free to unmute yourselves and ask them at this time.
No questions?
Is there a chance that the
So,
you think
Ms. Green, if you could just introduce yourself so that way I know who you are, what grade your kid in, just a little bit, so that way that'll help me sort of direct my response to you specifically or globally. Thank you.
my name is Mrs. Green. I have a high schooler and she's starting junior year. That's Lala Green. I have a daughter that's starting 4th grade, Crystal Green, and 10.
Okay.
Okay. Do you think it might be a possibility with the Delta variant happening that we might to virtual? What's the likelihood? I mean, do you have any plans in place if that was to happen?
So that's a great question, Ms. Green. Part of our road to return, every district had to provide a plan to the county executive superintendent, and that's also a requirement from the state of New Jersey Department of Education. That plan is actually on our website. But we have also, because of the changing Delta variant and the high numbers within the increasing numbers within New Jersey, but more closely, our numbers in Monmouth County have caused us to go back and revisit just a contingency plan. But right now, the state and the Department of Education is not moving forward with a virtual option. They will, put that on the table as the health professionals and our numbers change or go from there. That is one of the reasons why early on, prior to other districts, I put out that we needed to make sure that everyone was wearing their mask as they entered our facilities, and to be very vigilant about that, because at the end of the day, it is really, really, really critically important that we are as proactive in our response to COVID, that now this Delta variant, and if you look at the CDC, this new Delta variant now from one person is now impacting 5 individuals. So that was one of the things that led me to wanting to partner with the Monmouth County Health Department and offer vaccination opportunities for whomever. Again, I will encourage folks, I'm vaccinated, have been since April. My son, who's 16, has been vaccinated, but we still wear masks. We still, wash our hands. We still practice, social distancing. But as it relates to us coming back, we do have a plan, but right now that plan is a contingency because the state is requiring that we come back full time. As we have different situations that may arise, depending on, let's say, close contact or exposure or all of those things, we've kind of, mitigated them into our plan, which is on the district. I've been working with our human resource department in terms of trying to be proactive in terms of if we have students who may have to go out because they're positive, how can we support home instruction virtually for those students? So right now we're really, putting a lot of things on the table, but the most that we can do in terms of this Delta variant and not having to deal with that is to be, one, get vaccinated, two, wear masks, three, wash your hands. And, I watched the verses with the Locks and Dipset and the recap of Fat Joe. He said, COVID is in there. Folks need to understand, if you're out and about, COVID is in that mix. So you can't act as if this is not new. Thousands and thousands and millions of people have been affected by this worldwide. And we know, being from New Jersey, it hit us the first wave very hard. And so we cannot ignore, because society is open again, that this has gone bye-bye. No, it's not gone bye-bye. It's making a second round to possibly pick up folks. It did not get on the first go. So I don't want to be on the second go around.
Okay, speaking of vaccination, I mean, I'm vaccinated, my spouse is vaccinated. My 16-year-old is vaccinated, but of course, as you can see, they don't have vaccination for children unless they're 12 and above.
Right, 12 and above.
Okay, my daughter just turned 10, which means she's not vaccinated. So that's a concern for me. So I was wondering, is the teachers mandated to be vaccinated?
No, ma'am. That's the reason why we are encouraging everyone to wear masks and to still practice social distancing. Within relative, respect of the confinements of 3 feet and all of that. We will, as a district, be providing masks because that's another safe measure. We are not and will not be mandating staff to get vaccinated. That's a whole nother kettle of fish. But in terms of masks, we will be mandating folks to wear masks.
Okay, I know that.
Dr. Adams, we have several questions now in the chat. Ms. Green, if
Okay.
you could yield to some of those and we can come back to you. I don't want to lose anyone. We do have a question from Christine Hayes Snyder, and she asked, what are the hours of the 7th and 8th grade program, and will there still be a split session?
So those instructional programs that will be communicated by the building administrators. Ms. Christy Hayes, right now we have not changed that, those times. I know there may have been some questions regarding that, but those times will still be remaining the same.
Okay, thank you. We also have a question from Miss Daphne. She wants to know what time school will start, but of course, she did not indicate the grade. So Miss Daphne, if you would like to unmute yourself and let us know which school and grade your child attends, we can better answer that question. Okay, while we wait for her, we will move forward to Liz Lady. Ask if 7th grade is in the middle school.
No, ma'am. The 7th and 8th grade are both at the high school. They're housed on the 2nd floor of the high school. So our building configurations are Thurgood Marshall Elementary School and Bradley Elementary are pre-K to 3. Our MLK Upper Elementary is grade 4 to 6. And Asbury Park High School has our grades 7 through 12.
Liz Lady also asked if a COVID vaccine is required.
We're not requiring anyone to get the vaccine. We are requiring folks to wear masks.
Andrea wanted to know the start time and the close time for Thurgood Marshall Elementary School.
That is the same time as last year, 7:45 to 2:30. And
Ashley, I'm sorry.
We'll make sure that those updated times are on our website and as well.
And the updated times will also be in the calendar, the district calendar that will be printed and sent home with students the first week of school. We have a request from Ashley Osario. that would like this information translated in Spanish?
Okay, we'll do our best. We're actually recording this session, so most of the questions that are asked and responded to, we'll make sure that we get them translated in both Spanish and Creole.
Okay, and Miss Daphne said her student is in kindergarten.
Okay.
So her question was regarding, let me go back and find it.
Time.
I think that was time, yes.
Yes.
So you already addressed that.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. What time, Miss Emily Nunez, what time does school start for preschoolers, specifically alphabets?
Alphabet is one of our community providers, but their time, I have Dr. Lauren Jackson. Dr. Jackson, you want to?
Yes, absolutely. Alpha starts at 8:30 a.m. So their time's a little different from in-district. In-district preschool starts at 7:55, along with kindergarten through third grade, and Alphabet's preschool starts at 8:30 a.m. daily.
Thank you, Dr. Jackson.
Okay, we have another message. Someone's concerned that for children with sensitive to seasonal allergies, etc., what will be the protocols for them so that if their allergies are acting up, she doesn't want it to be confused with COVID or a cold.
So having a child who has seasonal allergies, the albuterols, the nebulizers, and all those things, but the difference is, we didn't have COVID as a reality. What we will do is make sure that we are informing our school nurses, so that way we can provide the necessary support and information to our staff. So that way that student medical and allergies is understood. And if the student needs to go to the nurse to maybe take a mask break, then we can provide that for that student. But we will be requiring that student wear a mask if they are not having issues or concerns in the classroom at the time. But upon one of the things that we do have is discretion on hot weather days to give students a mask break upon coming in and their temperature. So those common sense things we will be exercising and utilizing, and we also want to be very cognizant of not creating a level of hysteria for our students upon coming in, and not, weaponizing the mask as well, for the students or the staff. However, we will be requiring that everyone wear a mask.
Okay, Dr. Adams, we have a question from an individual who we don't know who the person is. So I will ask whoever sent this message, if you can direct message me so that we can get the appropriate response to you. The question is, my son is autistic and is at preschool at Bradley Elementary. He has issues with putting on a mask. Is he still required to wear a mask as a toddler? Is it required?
Yes, we will be following the executive order from the governor, as well as the CDC mandates in terms of masking.
Liz Lady asked regarding whether vaccines are required. I responded in the chat as well that they are not, as you already addressed that. Ms. Jennifer Green wants to know, will there be people to make sure people are wearing masks in like the high school? She was told that sometimes students don't comply.
So one of the things last year that we were in hybrid. And so the multiple times that I was at the high school, students were wearing their masks. We will be making sure that the building administration as well as staff are utilizing and reminding students and enforcing this expectation. It has been my experience in watching the students at the high school as well as the elementary schools. They are fully aware of how serious COVID has been. And I don't and have not seen many students, with the exception of they're walking out or walking up to the door, not wearing their mask. And so I think I want to be very mindful of not painting this broad brush that our students are not conscious about how serious COVID is. I think they're very conscious and knowledgeable about it, and are and have been doing what has been required of them in terms of wearing masks. We did an outstanding job as a district in providing our students with masks last year. We will be doing that again this year for students and staff that need them. And so that's another way for us to make sure that we kind of help along in this process. One of the questions I did see, yes, we will be doing the daily health screening check. Ms. Christy Hayes Snyder, I saw you put that in there. We will be still doing that.
I do not see any additional questions in the chat at this time. We have an additional question.
Okay, great.
Ms. Liz Lady would like to know, are we using computers in the school and Google Classroom?
So the instructional platforms that we will be utilizing will, so let me kind of backtrack. When we went virtual, Google Classroom and our one-to-one, prior to that, we were not a true one-to-one district. What that means is one device for one student. This year and last year, we moved to a one-to-one device. Our pre-K through, our K through second grades will be getting the iPads and the Chromebooks. Our upper school students got Chromebooks, and our high school students as well. And so we moved to a one-to-one district. This allowed us to go from the paper packets that we did in mid 2020 to close out the school year, to last September being virtual and utilizing our technology resources. So when we return, we will be utilizing those resources, but those will not be the centerpiece of our instructional programs. Our centerpieces of our instructional programs will be the interaction between the teacher and the student, the pedagogical practices that are traditional in terms of student engagement, questioning back and forth, those students being able to interact with their classmates. That is the pivotal focus of how we want to address our learning gaps that were, happened over the last 18 months. So as we return, we will be utilizing those instructional resources, but they will not be the predominant instructional vehicle in which students will be taught.
Thank you, Dr. Adams. I don't see, when will students be receiving their schedules? That's a question from Ms. Tiana Brinkley.
So Ms. Brinkley, those high school schedules should be going in the mail at least this week from the high school's guidance department. And I will make sure I follow up with that. So if you could send a direct message to Ms. Jackson with your information, we'll make sure that we get that particular information to you.
Ms. Jennifer Green requested a school supply list if one is available.
So that's pretty much staple notebooks. Oh, this upcoming Saturday, the 21st, there'll be a backpack school supply event at the courts by the upper elementary school, which is MLK upper elementary school. They'll be giving away some school supplies. There are ample school supply list by grade. The only thing that I would say that you would definitely want to make sure is getting a little hand sanitizer, 5 spiral notebooks, the composition notebooks, if that's what your pencils, pens, your crayons, those traditional school supplies. Folders, to help your child be organized. Again, that's very generic because I don't necessarily know the grade from early childhood, the big pencils, and we provide some of those materials as well. So it all varies in terms of the grade span and the content the content area that the student is taking. If the student is in one of our CTE programs, what they may need in terms of school supplies may vary.
I don't see any additional questions in the chat at this time. Dr. Lauren Jackson, did you want to comment on what you put in the chat?
Just at the event that Superintendent Dr. Adams just spoke about this Saturday, the back to school giveaway, the district will be there with some volunteers. We have a variety of school supplies available for our students for grades pre-K all the way up through 12th grade. And we are looking to have them divided by grade level for easy taking for you and your child. So if you're interested, please come see us. I will be there. Look for the table with the district logo.
The other thing that I want to encourage you all, if you have not and you know of individuals that need to register, we've done a pop-up registration event this past weekend. We continue to encourage staff to if you know of individuals to register for the district, to cut down on some of our new registrants in the first couple of days of school. Because this will help them transition very well into their getting their schedule, as well as just getting into the normal pace of school. And the word normal, I just want to take a few minutes to kind of address that. There is no such thing as normal in this current climate that we've dealt with, right? We have had expectations of what traditionally we have had to deal with. But over the last 18 months, we have been engulfed with the daily reminder that change is the only thing that is consistent. Because we've been changing in terms of the information has been changing, our expectations have been changing, how we handle those things have been changing. So our new normal is how we adapt to so much coming at us and being able to process it. And I think when we look at our high school students who graduated this year, our students who have transitioned from virtual space to back into class, hybrid, they have transitioned well. However, we know that we still have to provide support. So as we think about what is normal coming back into our school year this year, we would like to provide continuity. That is going to be the thing that we attempt to offer as a district in terms of all of our services. I'm not getting, into the competitive nature of what the other options that parents have in terms of charter schools. But what I will say as the acting superintendent here in Asbury Park, that no one provides the level of services from our early childhood to our wraparound services, to our gifted and talented services, to our dual college programs, to our enrichment offerings, through our CTE programs that you will find around. This district provides and will provide the most opportunities for your child to have a well-rounded education. I know we have to counter so many narratives out there about Asbury Park, whether they're internal or external. But I'm here to say to you that if you entrust your child to us here in Asbury Park, that we will do our best to provide the best options and opportunities for your students that you will not get elsewhere. Do we have work to do? Absolutely. Are we perfect? No, we are not. Are we reminded daily that we have a purpose to provide these students with life options and opportunities. That is what our goal is going to be. That is what our focus is going to be. As I said in my first listening and learning, we will be a student-centered district. We will be process-driven, and we will be outcome-focused. That is where we will move. That is how we will move for our students. When I think about our last students that graduated today, it reminded me of that this is a long marathon for our students. We have to get it right. We know that we are not a perfect organization, but we are steadily working on improving our imperfections in order to provide students in this district, in this community, with the best opportunities to have life options. And so for me, having been an educator for 24 years, having been in this district for 7 years, that is going to be the thing that I lead by. I try to encourage my building administrators to do. I will be in classrooms in my capacity as the acting superintendent, as I was as a director, as I was as the HR manager. And so for me, teaching and learning is critical. It is the lifeline of these students in this community, and that is going to be our focus. And as I said, we have some phenomenal offerings in this district. And it is not going to be a situation of emperor's clothes. We know we have work to do. We know that we have to close the achievement gap. We know that we have to affect learning losses that have been impacted through the last 18 months of COVID. So we're ever conscious of what our obstacles are. From our building facilities, to our instructional programs, to our resources, to our professional development offerings, even to our accountability of our staff and students. But we also need to understand that we are a social emotional learning district where we will put our focus into developing the whole child. We will be conscious of making sure that social and emotional concerns are addressed for our students. And we will not be looking to have quick fixes, because in the long term, that does not yield the results that we would like to see for our students, that we want for them, and that they do not give them the results that they want for themselves. None of our students in this community want handouts. None of the families in this community want handouts. And so we want to make sure that our work is connected to dignity and pride and purpose, and that these students in this community, whether they speak Spanish or Creole, whether they're first generation or not, that the education that we provide to them in this district provides dignity.
Dr. Adams, we do have an additional question in the chat from
Okay.
RaShawn. He's asking if the start time for preschool is still 7:55. And he heard that certain programs were cut from the education system, like arts. What are the programs offered for the school year? And is there a definitive plan to bring back some of these programs if in fact they were cut?
So no, we have not cut our arts programs. As Dr. Jackson alluded to earlier, our early childhood is 7:55 for our in-district early childhood programs. Our out-of-district programs, I think it was 8:30 at Alphabet or some of the other community providers. Arts is an important part of our district. When we start talking about resources and we start talking about activities, not all of our students are going to be athletes. And we wouldn't dream of cutting our athletic programs, nor would we dream of cutting our arts and music programs. And so that's one of the things that is a mainstay for us. Again, not everyone here is to be committed to be an athlete. We have students who express themselves through the visual and performing arts, and we want to make sure that we offer those opportunities for those students. So no, we in Asbury Park are not cutting. We have a great partnership with it's escaping me.
House Academy, Lake House.
Lake House, excuse me, with Lake House. They come in and provide our students at after school with great, teaching from practitioners in the music industry. So from each and every area of the arts, we pride ourselves in making sure that we sort of support that in every capacity. Asbury Park is a music town, and it would be almost unconscionable for us to not have music or the performing arts or the visual arts as a part of our educational programs.
There are no additional questions at this time.
Okay. So again, I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us today. If you have not started following me on our social media, I try to pump out as much information for you on our district website. Please follow us. My Instagram is, I gotta look at it. It's really quick. It's APSD Supt_Adams. Again, APSD_Adams. On IG, I would ask that you follow us or follow me rather. I try to post important information regarding what's going on in our district, try to celebrate our students in real time and our staff in real time, as well as for it to be an informational resource, as well as site and our district other social media platforms. As I said, and just to recapture, we do this for your children. Your children provide all of the adults who work in this district the opportunity to take care of their families. And Karma, we have to make sure that we're providing the best for those who help me take care of mine. And so I'm ever reminded of that every day that I drive home, every day I come to work. And so I want to thank you for entrusting your children to the Asbury Park School District. It is a place unique. It is a place with a tradition. It is a place with long memories. And it is a place that I believe can provide your children, despite what others around may say, feel, or think, the best options in this area for your children. We've overcome many obstacles. We still have many to go, but I like to say every year that we send a child off to college from this district, we've broken the cycle of poverty. Last year, we've sent, and we had more graduates in the last 10 years from Asbury Park High School. And we just added 10 more onto that list today. We've graduated our second cohort of students from Brookdale with an associate's degree from Brookdale. So that's not faking it. That's a real associate's degree. That's real investment into our students, into this community. Us having our students who are getting certified in our career and technical education programs and law and public safety, our students who are becoming, first responders and EMTs through our nursing program, getting those certifications. That is real life certifications that, again, help those students be able to break the cycle of poverty or continue the cycle of success. Because not all of our students who attend Asbury Park School District are poor. And we need to also be reminded of that. We have professionals who live in this community who entrust their children to this district, and to those I say thank you, because you do have options. And for those who don't, they're relying and need us to make sure that their children fulfill a promise that every parent has for their child to fulfill their own dreams. And so that's what our purpose here is. And again, we have to block out the noise of those who say our students and what we're providing is subpar, because we do have challenges, but we also have countless examples of success that counter that narrative. And so again, I want to thank you. This next month, we'll have our third listening and learning session on, and I'll be dealing with how our school year opened up, some of our lessons learned, but right now we're preparing for that. And I'll do the fourth one in the month of October. And so right now, again, I am really appreciative of all of you taking time out to sit and listen in this listening and learning session, asking your insightful questions. And if you have any, again, we try to provide the superintendent's weekly bulletin called the Blue Bishop Bulletin on our district webpage, which is a weekly update to give you more information and more resources about where we are and where we're going. And so again, thank you very much. Have a great and phenomenal day. Please, 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 if you're not vaccinated, consider getting vaccinated. If you're not going to get vaccinated, please wear your mask, practice social distancing, wash your hands, and be mindful of the spaces and places you go if you're in large crowds. All right, everyone have a blessed and phenomenal day. Travel safe if you're at work, get home safe to your families, and I look forward to our third installment of our listening and learning. Have a great day. And in the words of Russell Simmons, peace, God bless, good night.